Here to make us her pot sticker dumplings with a delicious ginger soy dipping sauce from her cookbook, Quick and Easy Chinese. Please welcome back our good friend, best-selling cookbook author, Nancie McDermott. We are so happy to have you.
Best way to start the year. I'm so tickled.
I think you started the year pretty well. I don't know if you all know this, but Nancie just got back from a culinary adventure excursion, if you will, 2 weeks in China, where she saw people firsthand making these delicious dumplings and you tasted so much delicious street food. It was
Cooking
just
on the street. Everywhere you look, somebody is making something, doing something, selling something. It's incredible. And I came home crazy. I already love dumplings, but I just want to show you one of the simplest ones that you can make at home.
So happy.
Eating with my hands. It was happy. I kept my coat on. It was really, really cold, so you just kept your coat on. But I took those gloves off so I could eat with my fingers.
Well, as you do. All right, so Ken, Orly, and Paige are joining Allie at the counter, and they've already started, as you can see.
And we're dropping things in here. I'll start stirring. We've got salt, we've got sugar, I've got some chopped spinach. You could use you'd always want to have something, some kind of cabbage or spinach. This is cooked
frozen spinach?
Yes, and squeeze out a little bit of the water.
Okay.
Frozen chopped spinach is perfect.
Okay.
Absolutely perfect. This is chopped fresh ginger.
And we started
green
with pork,
onions.
correct?
Yes, we started with ground pork, and I've got, if you put the scallions in, I've got sesame oil, one of my favorite ingredients in the world. Don't be jealous, other ingredients. And I get all those herbs and spices and strong flavored sauces together, mash them up. So if we do this,
if we didn't want to use pork, could chicken?
Ground chicken, ground beef, ground lamb.
Okay.
If you are vegan or vegetarian, I would say use rice and saute some mushrooms and carrots and just make a filling. All you need is something to hold the you need something that will stay put in a dumpling.
I think you do nothing different than what's happening right now.
Yeah.
Follow this exact recipe. It's amazing.
Do this, yes.
But Nancie and I were truthfully talking about this because, this is traditional. Like you said, they've been doing it for thousands of years. We're not trying to put a new spin on it.
Don't mess up it.
I'm writing down what I saw people do, and it's like, they're right. They know what they're doing. So you make up your filling. You could even do that ahead of time. And I'm going to put about a tablespoon. And did you notice I wet these round wrappers? I want to come back at the end and once we got cooking and talk about the wrappers. Okay. But I'm going to pick it up. I wet the edges with my finger, and I'm going to squeeze the top together and make a little pinch. And then, if you want to go for it old school, you make a little pleat, you make another little pleat, make another little pleat, and a little meat came out, doesn't matter.
Okay.
On the other side, pinch, 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 and I've got a little dumpling.
So
some came out.
What are these
and
called?
It stands up. These are called pot stickers.
Okay.
And I've got a little more meat than I need
So you
here.
probably don't want to overstuff.
You don't want to overstuff. If the pleats are too much, just seal the top of it. All you want to do is make it so that it will stand up. You see these beauties we've got here?
Look at that.
So you filled it up. You've got all these beautiful pleats on the top. They stand up, and we've got our hot pot over here. We've got a skillet. Yes.
Where will I get these, the sheets, the pot sticker sheets?
The wrappers. Asian markets have them. You can get them online. More and more supermarkets have them. And if you don't see pot sticker wrappers, dumpling wrappers, or gyoza wrappers, or there's some of the names for them, you can just use wonton skins. Cut off the corners so that you've got it kind of rounded. Anything, you just want it to be round. You could use a cookie cutter to flat them.
Fresh or frozen? Where it's like the...
They'll be soft where the egg roll wrappers are. Where it's next to the tofu in a regular grocery store.
Okay,
and then, of course, in an Asian market, they'll have a middle. The ideal way, I would fill up the whole pan. And so that you've got them full, and we've got, thank you. Yes, see, this one stands up. These are mine, not quite so ready for prime time. They're delicious.
But hold on, what do we talk about? Cooking is all about bonding.
And
so it doesn't matter if it's pretty or not.
I've made wontons so many times, and they are just fun. Like, there's something about like the assembly line with your family making them. Like, it's just fun.
Absolutely, and some people are really good at it, and they can show off, and the people who aren't good at it can say,
you can make
I messed up. And somebody else can go to the store and get ice because you ran out. It's all fun. Look at this beautiful...
We'd be making fun of Orly for messing up.
It's so fun. Things don't matter.
What kind of oil did you use?
I just use any kind of vegetable oil, not olive oil because it could burn. And I'm going to add water to the pan.
So this is
and get that great sizzle
process.
Exactly. You saw that beautiful brown base. Once you get that, you don't have to worry if the meat is done. You pour water into the pan. A nonstick skillet is perfect. A cast iron skillet will work. Any kind of flat frying pan. I added enough water. Can you see how it's just bubbling away, going crazy?
So first,
that's what's going to cook it.
For how long? How long do you brown?
So the brown is going to be anywhere from a minute to 2 minutes, probably not 2 minutes. And you just pick it up. It's brown, we're done.
And then
put the water in. This part is going to take from 6 to 8 minutes.
Okay.
Again, depending how big is your pan, how many did you put in? Did you use great big fat ones? And you know how you found out? You take out a great big one when you think it's done, cut it in half. If the biggest one is done, they're all done.
Okay.
If it's still pink, keep cooking.
Is it okay if there's still water in there, or should all the water evaporate?
That's a wonderful question. So these are still cooking, and shake them around. These are just about ready. The water's almost evaporated. So at this point, I would
also how they expand.
Yes, and just turn them around. These are, I'm going to pour off just a little bit of the water into this pan.
Okay.
You would let them go now for like a minute or two, just until that water cooks out. And one thing I love is using all your senses when you're cooking. So I don't know if you can hear. So this one sounds like water and bubbling and steaming.
Yep.
This one, when they're almost done, you can hear it. If you're not paying attention, all of a sudden you hear crick, crack, crackle.
Yeah.
They're ready to burn because the water's gone. So that's the point where you say, okay, these are done. You know, I'm going to do that thing I told you of just checking, making sure.
Okay.
Is this ready?
And can I ask you
Is it
this
pink
too,
inside?
Nancie?
Yep, it's done inside. Yes,
If
ma'am.
you're using wonton wrappers versus,
Well, these are gyoza wrappers. These are round ones.
but if you're using the ones that are square, would it cook at a different
They'll be
speed?
fine. Just make little square ones or cut off the corners.
But are they a little thinner?
They're a little bit thinner, and that
Yes.
does cook. That cooks a little bit more quickly. So I'm going to be a little bit fancy since I've got the perfect pan. Flip them out, and look how pretty. You know, if you fill up that pan, you turn them out, and they're lined up like soldiers. They're so beautiful.
And you're serving
got
it with your delicious ginger
Exactly.
soy
I've got some
sauce.
green onions popped on top.
How
and
did you
our
make those?
We've all been
dip.
out for quite some time.
Yeah.
Yes.
They go down real
If you want
fast.
to toss a few our way, we're not mad.
Yes. These will not go to waste.
How did you make the ginger soy sauce?
The ginger soy sauce is so easy. Soy sauce, vinegar, a little bit of sesame oil, a tiny bit of sugar, chili oil if you like things spicy, or use salsa or use barbecue sauce. I mean, it's just a matter of something, you know, these are meaty and delicious. You want to serve them with something that is
Debbie, you're gonna die.
flavorful.
Yeah.
So
Can you
make
store
it
the
up.
sauce? Can
And
you
in
make
fact,
it in advance?
I'm sorry?
Can you make the sauce in advance and store it?
Absolutely, yes. You can keep this in a jar in the fridge, have it all the time. You're going to want to make these.
Yeah.
And you can even make the dumplings ahead. I like that Debbie's quiet. She's not crying, right? She's happy. And Debbie and I are using chopsticks because we know how we're kind of showing off. But I want people to enjoy chopsticks. So if you want to learn how to use chopsticks and you've had a hard time, here's how people eat in China. They don't use chopsticks to go from here to here. You put your food on your rice bowl or in your sauce bowl, and you bring it right up here.
Oh, that
way you don't
is
make a mess.
smart.
Anybody can use chopsticks if you're only going from there to there.
Or
then
you
they're
can put a
like
rubber
it's
band
it's
around
fun.
it. Put a rubber band around the chopstick in the back.
Well,
Exactly, that's how she learned.
Yeah.
clearly everybody loved it because they're all
Yes.
on. So thank you so much. And if you want the
Nancie.
full recipe, visit hallmarkchannel.com and you can connect with Nancie on her
My
website.
goodness.
And